So today I'd like to share a great and free way of flight planning for Microsoft Flight Simulator. To do this, I use a virtual airline. Become a member of a virtual airline. It's for free and it has a ton of benefits for flight planning. SkyTeam Virtual has a lot of routes and hubs and etc. So you can go to routes, and then you can select an aircraft, for example, if you like to do so, 738 for example. Filter, and then the list goes on forever. Basically, you got from 10 minutes all the way up to, I believe, 11 hours, and you got like 200 pages, so you got a huge amount of flights here. And you can set departures, arrivals. SkyTeam has a lot of members. Where is it? Airlines, yeah, airlines. So you got a ton of options here to fly to and from. And if you register your flights, you get some nice overview of what you're flying and etc. But we're talking flight planning here. So I have flights prepared here, kind of. You just, it's really simple. All you gotta do is go to SkyTeam Virtual, operations, routes. So you pick any flight, and then you end up in this screen. And you can, yeah, I cannot book it now because I already booked this flight. So I got this flight here now ready to use, let's say. So all we have to do is generate briefing, and this is when you do it first time, you have to sign up to SimBrief, which is for free. There is Navigraph set here, but it's for free, SimBrief. So this whole procedure is free. And here we go. We got the whole route, fuel, and everything. So I will set this aside, and I will use it for the route planning. And we'll go over this whole route here. It's really easy, so don't be confused by everything which is here. I will break it down. Basically, we go from our departure, which is LPPT, Lisbon, to Lyon, which is here at the end, LFLL. And SimBrief is taking the weather in account, so it's telling us to depart from runway 2, and we'll land at 35 left. Then we go from our departure, which is this one, to our first waypoint, which is still inside the departure, I believe. We'll find out soon enough. Then we go direct to Tosny. Then we go via an airway to the next one, another airway to this one, another airway. We got another direct to here, another direct to here. So I will break it down during the FMC setup. We got our cruise altitude, we got our fuel, and a cost index, all from SimBrief. So this is really useful, one click, and we got our complete flight plan. So we'll go over it. I'll set it aside. We've got 737 selected here. Like from our flight plan, we'll go from Lisbon to our arrival, which is, if you're completely new with the 737, this will break down basically everything as easy as it can get. We'll go over everything. So we'll go IFR, and SimBrief is telling us to go from runway 2, weather-wise. So I got the weather selected live. Then our departure, like set, is exit 1N. So we're gonna find that one. There we go. And it's corresponding with the runway, so that's fine. And our approach is the 35 left. So we go with an ILS approach. And the star is the MES Sin 7, yep, that's right, it's this one. Everything between here we can leave it as it is because we'll set it up according to SimBrief flight plan. Now I like to go from a cold and dark, so we have to zoom into our departure airport. Since we're departing from a runway, it's not so ideal. We're going to select a departure place, so to say. I'm going to pick something nearby the runway to make things a little bit faster. So we're going to set this as our departure. If you make your flights the first time with the 737, then consider to set the weather presets to clear skies, so you don't have any crosswinds or whatsoever. Makes the whole flying a little bit easier. But this is a great way to get some challenging approaches, departures, stuff like that. So I'll bring in this one last time. So we got the whole overview, and you get an idea of the flight time by checking the list of routes as well. So that's a great way of planning your flights. And like I said, the flights which are 10 minutes, you can do all together in like 20-25 minutes. So that's nice for the 737. You don't need hours. So we'll just wait for this one to load up quickly. So here we are in the 737 full cold and dark state, and we'll go over it together just to set it up quickly. I have a cold and dark start video if you're interested in that one. It has an easy to follow flowchart, so you can set it to another screen or your phone or whatever to have some guidance along the way. I will link it somewhere here in the screen. I like to start up the APU already in advance, always takes some time, so we speed things up a little bit here. Ground services will request the ground power while that one is connecting. We'll set the parking brakes for later on. I will wait for the ground power to become available soon. Here we go. Next step, we need to align the IRS. Flick those switches twice. Hydraulics can come on already. Some stuff like that. That will do for now. We'll jump into the FMC for now. I like to bring up some lights here while we're... So, position in it. Hit next page, we get the left GPS position, go previous page, set it up. Go to root, our origin is LPPT, LPPT. Our destination is Lille, which is LFLL, like so, and then we go to our departure and arrivals. We set the departure from Lisbon. SimBrief told us to go from runway 2. With a departure of exit 1N, so we're going to look for that one. If it's not on the list, we got 3 pages here, so we're going to go next page. Here it is. Then we go back to our route. Don't press it twice because you will activate it. That will be a little bit messy. Next page, and we see that we have the extra waypoint as shown before here already. And then we go direct to Tosny. So I will start inserting these waypoints now. So we go direct to Tosti. There we go, direct, and you see that we go direct. Then we got an airway, so we go November 745, that's the airways. They go on the left side to Zulu Mike Romeo, MR, that goes to the right. Then we got an airway November 976, and then to DGO. Well, you get the idea. If you run out of page, here let's say, simply hit next page and you can continue on.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Then we go back
this parking is too small for your aircraft.
Thank you very much. Then we go to back to departure and arrivals. I will not fill in the complete list to make things a little bit faster here. I guess you want to get flying. 35 left, we make it an ILS, so make sure we select the ILS. And then we got the arrivals on the left side, the stars, they call them. MSC7, this is this one. So we got that selected, go back to route, activate and execute. Then we got this part done. We go to our legs page and we're going to go through the legs and check for discontinuities. If they are selected, bring it one step up to fix the discontinuity. Also check for vectors like this one. If it's between a page somewhere or between 2 waypoints, you want to fix that by replacing the vector by an actual waypoint. So that's fine. I'm going to hit execute again. Then we're going to validate the route. So we're going to flick this one to planning mode. I like to zoom out a little bit. Oh, we got a little bit of offsets here. So I think we cannot enable LNAV right away, but we have to see. Step button here, we can jump to our waypoints. I like to keep a bit of overview to see if anything changes, strange is happening. We can step through it, zoom out a bit more. And then we'll have one long way to our arrival because I didn't set up more waypoints. Zoom in again, step to our arrival, see how that's looking, nicely aligning with the 3-5 left, so that's all fine. I like to bring it back just to page 1 again. Back to map mode, and we're gonna go to init ref, menu, F sections, fuel. So the fuel which SimBrief generates is 8847 kilograms, so we're gonna round it up to 8850, if that makes any sense. There we go. Our center tanks we have a little bit, so it's something to keep an eye on. If it's a short flight, they might be empty. Go back to init ref, press 0 fuel weight twice, that gives you your gross weight, and 0 fuel weight reserves, you can put anything. For simulation wise it's okay. Cost index they give 36, so we'll fill it in like that, and the cruising altitude they set 36,000. So there we go, and we can press execute again. Then we go to NAV1, takeoff. A general takeoff flap setting is 5, so we're going to go with 5. That's most of the time fine. And that gives our V1, VR and V2. Center of gravity, Press it twice to get your takeoff trim of 4.9. So we're going to bring this one all the way up to 4.9. I like to start up the ATC sequence here already.
Clearance delivery KLM Romeo Oscar 273 IFR to SATEC Supri ready to copy.
4.9-ish, something like this. Squawk 774. 7714. 7714. If you fly with traffic, this one all the way to the right, TARA, that's the TCAS. Read back the message. Now we go to our Lex page. We're going to check that the 36,000 is actually showing up here as well. So I like to fill it in here in the MCP, main control panel right away. 36,000. There we go. Readback is correct. I'm going to bring back the range here a little bit. Alright, by now we have the APU power available for sure. So APU power and APU bleed. I will show it on the overhead panel like this, a little bit easier. APU bleed, APU. That's all fine. Window heat on. Probe heat on. Alright, if it's in the night or dark, I can switch on some lights. Acknowledge the taxi clearance. So we noticed already on the flight planning, basically we need to go there. So a nose right push would be nice. Yeah, we end up like that. So we're gonna remove the wheel chocks, and that will disconnect menu, FS actions, ground services. That will disconnect ground power right away. There we go. Menu, FMC. I like to keep the Lex page open. So the ground power is disconnected. Our passenger, whatever, will move away soon here as well. And we can fire up GSX.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Prepare for pushback and departure. Portway, whatever, that's fine. If you don't have GSX, then just request the pushback by ATC, ground services, request pushback, or use the Shift P on default.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
I turned down the simulator volume a bit to make my audience more loud, but GSX is staying at 100, so alright, we're gonna wait for this guy to finish up everything. We'll make one final check here on the overhead panel. Yaw dampers will come after
Departure
pushback.
checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Alright, that's all looking good for now. Go back to this view. I don't like to press too much on the FMC for now, because GS6 is interfering with stuff which is here as well. So wait for this guy to arrange everything. Oh, this is looking fancy. Not gonna look at it like this. Alright.
Locking gear.
If you register your flights within for SkyTeam, then you need to fly the correct aircraft. You can do the route with a 737 and a 738 as well, but sometimes you need to make like a remark. If you fly a 737 route with a A320, you can do it. Alright, nose right till left.
Release parking brakes, please.
I will do so.
Commencing push. All engines clear.
All fuel pumps
Start
on.
at wheel.
And anti-collision, we're gonna start with number 2. Gonna wait for that one to spool up. If it's not spooling up, then most likely you forgot your APU bleed. Around 7 we can introduce fuel. There we go. And then we wait for the engine selector switch to flick back to off position, and we can start with the other one. In the meantime, we can switch on the flight directors, left and right. And I'm gonna try LNAV, but I think it will, yeah, disengage. Because the first leg after the departure, after taking off is deviating. I believe if it's more than 5 degrees, then it will not be able to start on LNAV right away. So we're gonna take off, align with our heading line more or less. Our course line, I should say. And then we can enable LNAV. That's now number 1. Number 2. We're gonna go to number 1 now. Check if it comes alive. It does. It does. Stand by on the fuel. Around 7-ish. There we go. Speed 220. Auto throttle. We can arm. Check armed. And when we come to a stop, we can set the parking brakes again. Alright, should be any moment. We're nicely aligned here. Number 1 coming alive there. Alright.
Please set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for your engine start.
Good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
I like to speed things up a little bit here, so you can get flying faster again. Just to get an idea of the whole procedure. Yacht dampers on, armed the exit lights, emergency exit lights. You can, for simulation purpose. Seatbelt lights on. Check for any orange lights, if we can do something about it. Then taxi light on. If both engines are up and running, we can switch to engine generators. To do so, both engine generators left and right back to auto.
Unlocking
Make sure you bleed off. And then I like to switch the terrain on if I'm unfamiliar with my departure here. So terrain on, data, I will show you later. It gives information next to your waypoints which are coming up. The flight path vector is very
Tow track
useful.
disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
I will show you in a minute after taking off.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Our flight path vector is doing. So terrain, data, flight path vector. If you want TCAS enabled, TFC once will bring TCAS on the traffic. And then there's 2 more things to do, which is the auto brakes. We have to set to rotate RTO and our flaps, like configured in the FMC to flap setting 5. And then we will get the call outs. If not, if you don't get the call outs, I will show you after takeoff how to enable them. So we wait for our guide to say, have a good flight. Taxi speed is about 30 maximum, and for corners you can use 15. And we want to trust setting about 30-30. I'll have a good trip, okay. Parking brakes come off. Check once again, taxi light is off, on. APU is still available. And here we go, start moving. So RTO on the auto brakes. Flaps 1, 2, 3. F7 by default to increase by steps 1, 2 to 5. Alright, that's all set. And that's it, we'll continue taxiing towards the runway. 2992 is a standard barometric setting if you fly with clear skies, but we'll get the actual barometric setting from the tower and we request our departure. If you forgot or you lost ATC connection or whatever, you can press B on the keyboard and it will set by default the correct barometric setting. I will do now, so check the barometric setting, it will change most likely. Yeah, to 85. To change it manually, use the outer knob and you can change it like so. Press B again. I have to check, we go this way. Okay, we're gonna bring up the ATC menu already. It's not much in front of us, so we're gonna switch to tower frequency. And then we near the runway threshold, which is this one where it's indicating the runway numbers. We're gonna come to a stop more or less. I try to keep moving just a little bit and just get that message. So we're gonna slow it down a bit already here. There we go, request a clearance. There's no traffic. And again, to speed things up a little bit, I'm gonna line up already here. Also, we'll get the clearance. Lights on, taxi light off, engine switches to continuous. 85 they set to 2985, so we got that set up. Shift 1 by default to acknowledge the ATC messages. A little bit late on the corner here. Alright, we're gonna line up. We're gonna keep the engines on 30. And now it's a few things we have to look for. So we're gonna spool them up to 40. We want them to spool up equally. And then we want to drop them a little bit. And then there's this hidden knob here for the toga, takeoff, go around. So we're gonna go up to 40 here. Check they spool up equal. They do. Around 40. Check where they drop. They do. Toga enabled. Here we go. Keep near the center line. Airspeed live. Like I said, if you don't get the callouts, I will show you after departure right away how to enable them or disable them. 80 knots. Check the V1 and V rotate coming up there. Can pull back already just a little bit. V1 rotates. Alright.
Positive rate of climb.
Positive rate of climb, the gear can come up. I'm gonna zoom to 5 range and bring the plane towards the heading. Now we can enable LNAV. Oh yeah, we have to wait a little bit. LNAV goes on and stays on, so we can follow our vertical flight detector line, which is the magenta line here. Want to keep that pitch under 15 while climbing out. And now we're going to enable the VNAV for our vertical navigation guidance, and that's the horizontal magenta line. Alright, I'm going to enable the autopilot now right away to show a few extra things. I'm going to press my button here, CMD is enabled, and the plane is now flying autopilot. Auto brakes to RTO, the gear lever in the off position, so it will release the hydraulic pressure on the landing gear system. And I'm going to go F5 here straight away to bring back all the flaps. Normally you want to do it in steps. We're going to go all the way. Flight path vector, there's not much drift now. The flight path vector is indicating your actual heading and movement. Where we are heading with the plane in this direction, due to wind your actual heading might be into this direction or this direction. So it gives you a great idea of the actual movement of the plane. You see that we're drifting a little bit towards the left now, so the plane is steering to the right to compensate this. It's becoming a little bit more now, not much. Alright, with the flaps up, VNAV will go up, but it's maintaining its speeds as set up here in the FMC. Make sure 36,000 is set for your cruising altitude, which is coming up there. And then regarding the FMC menu, PMDG setup, options, simulation, go next, and then you get your callouts, airspeed live 80, V1, V rotate, and then you get your V2 and positive rate of climb. Another useful one is pause at top of descent. That's for the second part of the video where we're gonna do our approach and landing. We will pause the plane when we reach our top of descent, which is the same basically as our top of climb, but then the opposite. So we got our top of climb there, and we'll get near our arrival airport, we'll get TD, and then the plane will pause there. So you can have nice lunch or whatever, sit in the garden, and you will come back and you will not overfly your airport. Then like I said, the data will give you your arrival times, 15:38, so that's in 10 minutes from now, we'll be there. If you want your runway arrival, of course, speed will still change. We go to our runway 35 left, we press RTE data, and you get 17:17 as our arrival time. Go back to legs, and we'll get our legs page up again. Alright, engine selector switches go to off position, APU can come off, we're underway. We got a low center tank, so we're going to switch off the fuel supplies. And then when we reach 10,000 feet we can switch off our landing lights. And that's basically summing up the whole departure procedure. When we're climbing out, VNAV will tell the plane to increase its airspeed, so most likely it will pitch down. Like I said, when you take off, try to keep your angle under 15, which is this horizontal line. At 15 or less. Alright, that's looking fine. 36,000 will reach at this moment on this green arc, but like I said, the plane will request to increase its airspeed, so therefore the plane will pitch down and it will change, and we'll be here on 36,000 feet. There we go. And the vertical speed starts dropping down. There we go. Plane start pitching. Oh, passed already 10,000. There we go. And that sums up the whole departure. I'm not going to make it any longer. There's no point of doing so. You get the idea, you get all the information, and you can start your departures now. And part 2 I will bring up somewhere, I will leave it in the description down below, which will be the approach and landing phase. Alright, I hope this helps. Any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and I'll see you in the next one.